Good morning, students. Welcome back to today's class. Hope everybody is fine at home. For the last class, we have discussed about a few common concepts regarding the subject economics. We will be continuing with the same, and let me recollect you lightly with the previous concept, that is inflation. Last class we have discussed about the term inflation. What is inflation? Inflation is generally defined as the process of persistent and appreciable rise in the general price level. And I have told you what is general price level. What is general price level? It is an average level of prices of all goods and services produced in the economy. So when there is an increase in the general price level, that leads to the inflation. And I have told you, inflation is like an accelerator to the economical growth. It is must. Inflation is definitely required to every economy. As I have told you, there could be various types of inflations like creeping inflation, walking inflation, running inflation, and galloping inflation. And I told you the walking inflation, running inflation, these types of inflations are required. But it should not be galloping way. The inflationary rate in an economy should not cross the limit or cross the 2 digits. Once or at any time, if this inflationary rate or in a financial year, this rise in general price leads to, or if it crosses to the 2 digits, it reaches in 2 digits number, that would be a dangerous situation. Immediately the government take all the different measures to control those inflationary rate in our country. Now we have 2 types of inflation: demand pull inflation and cost push inflation. I have written it. Inflation, we have 2 types: demand pull inflation and cost push inflation. What is meant by demand pull inflation? Demand pull inflation originating from the demand forces. Demand pull inflation originating causes from the demand forces. What is demand? We have studied. Demand is the ability to acquire one commodity. It is the purchasing power of an individual to get a commodity. So when there is a demand, if I say that I have a demand to get one commodity, which means I have the ability to purchase that commodity. Whatever income is in my pocket, whatever money is in my pocket, that is sufficient enough to acquire that commodity. So I could say I demand it. So demand pull inflation, when there is an increase in the demand in the economy, we clearly discussed about the human wants. Human wants are unlimited. Many a time we will see the demand of the commodity is much more than the supply of that commodity. Therefore, such a situation, we people face the scarcity. And scarcity is a real reason that economic goods have prices. So when there is scarcity occur, or when there is a situation, demand is much more than that of the supply, then that causes or that directly affect in the price of that commodity. Demand for one commodity. For example, demand for petrol. Demand for petrol increases. Demand for petrol increases. If the availability of the petrol is less in that particular situation, then definitely we could say that the price of petrol increases. When price of petrol increases, that leads to an inflation, that leads to an increase in the general price level of that commodity. So when there is an increase in general price level of the commodity, that would be the real reason behind the inflation. So such a way we could say that demand pull inflation occur. Is that clear? When there is in a simple words, if I say that when there is an excess demand for goods and services, that would be the causes of demand pull inflation. Clear? When there is an excess. Okay, so this increase in demand can cause, it is because of the rapid changes, growth of population, a drastic population or a population explosion is being seen in an economy. So when population increases, the same way the demand of those people also increases. But we are very clear, we know that the resources are not is being increased. Okay, equal to the population increases, and therefore excess demand causes. Excess demand comes, then that leads to the inflation. Okay, that is what which is known as demand pull inflation. Now next is cost push inflation. Cost push. There is a push from the cost sides. What we mean by cost? Cost here in economics we means cost of productions. All types of costs to produce one particular commodity, that is known as cost of production. For example, just to produce one commodity, okay, see one commodity, a shirt. In order to produce a shirt, what are the costs involved or incur in that process to make the shirt? Okay, so I told you that production happens only when we use all those factors of production. What are the factors of production? Land, labor, capital, entrepreneur. So when there is all these factors are used, then that may be a result or the outcome is the product has come. So in order to form one particular product, we have some costs. We need laborers, we need land, we need capitals. So all such costs are, means we have so many explicit costs and implicit costs. Okay, cost from outside, from the society, and cost from within the firm. All these costs totally we call it as costs of production. To produce one commodity, the expenses incurred to get to the various variables is known as cost of production. So when there is a increase in the cost of production of one commodity, that may lead to a type of inflation. That is what? Cost push inflation. So cost push inflation occur in the economy due to what? Due to increase in cost. When the cost, the labor cost is 350 rupees, the minimum wage as a rule. But if the minimum wage rate increases, I need 10 laborers. So 10 laborers, okay, when I use this 10 laborers efforts, all his mental and physical efforts in the production process, I need to give them remunerations, wages. So they demand, when they demand more wages, my cost of production may increases. So that may lead to an inflation because I am a producer, I am a supplier, I need to sell those commodities in the market with the price that includes in the cost of production plus the profit. Suppose if to produce one commodity, the cost of production is 100 rupees, and this cost of production includes all types of costs. Labor cost, land cost, okay, factor cost, etc. or advertisement cost, whatever the cost, plus the profit. I need to also join the profit 10 rupees. So what would be the market price of the commodity? 110 rupees. So 110 rupees is the market price, and that price includes all types of cost plus my profit. Suppose if the cost of production, suppose the wage rate is, when this is in the market price, the wage, labor's charge, labor's wage, if it is 350, at a time if the wage rate increases then 400, I cannot sell this commodity by this prices because that may lead to diminish my profit. So my cost of production increases, definitely that would be 120. So this way, when the cost of production increases, the price that affects the price also increases. When there is a substantial and persistent increase in price in the general price level, that leads to inflation. So cost push inflation due to increase in its cost. Are you clear? Yes. So we have studied two things, inflation and kinds of inflation. So we have two types, demand pulled inflation and cost push inflation. Now we will see the next term, that is value. Value. What is mean by value? What is the value of one product? How could we calculate the value of one product? Value of a commodity refers to the valuation placed by the household. Valuation placed by a household. Being I am the household, being I am the consumer, I must know what type of value I have to give after consuming that commodity. If somebody asks you what is the value of that commodity, on the basis of what you would say the value after using it. So valuation, it has two different meaning. Valuation of commodity has two different meaning, or we can evaluate one commodity into two ways. Value can be evaluated in two ways. What are the two ways? First way, that value in uses. So we will write, you can value in uses. You can value one commodity on the basis of value in uses. What is the use value of a commodity? It expresses the utility derived from the consumption of a particular commodity. What utility you have got? What satisfaction you have got after consuming one commodity? That utility is its use value. So if one commodity is more useful than any other, the use value of that commodity is very good. What is the use value of a watch? Wristwatch. The wristwatch helps us to see the time. Its use value. What is the utility derived after utilizing this watch? Doesn't mean that I need to eat. Okay, I am using this and I am satisfactory with this wristwatch function. So that utility expresses, or that I expresses that utility, that satisfaction of this commodity after using it. So that is my use value. So I can easily say, what is the use value of the wristwatch? Use value, utility can be expressed in terms of number. It's good. Okay, 10. I am saying just in simple way, 10 is my use value. Very useful to more. Then another case you can evaluate. What is its value in exchange? Value in exchange. Value in exchange. Value in exchange. What is exchange? Exchange value. Exchange. If one commodity has exchange value, for example, if I have a gold wristwatch, it's a golden color only, it's not gold. Gold with gold plated or made with gold, then this watch has more exchange value. If I am in need of money, I can easily sell this watch. It has an exchange value because it is in the form of liquid cash. Gold is an example of a liquid cash. Gold has value, exchange value. You can exchange that or you can sell that particular one all over the world with the same value. Okay, 24 karat gold or 22 karat gold, you may have same value in everywhere. So it has a value. What type of value? Certain commodity have more exchange value than use value. Can you say some of the commodity? On the other hand, you will see some commodity may have more use value than exchange value. Commodities like necessities, like food. Okay, what type of value they have? More use value. Whereas commodities like valuable, precious jewelries, okay, that all others, whatever the valuable things, metals, okay, they may have more exchange value. So you keep in mind that value in exchange and value in uses are the two different methods to find out the real value of a product. So valuation of a product based on two concepts. One is value in exchange and another one is value in uses. Clear? Okay. Now we go to the third word, market. Market. What is mean by market? How can we say that a place is a market? Okay, what is a market? What is a market? The word market is an ordinary sense. What does it mean? It means a physical place where commodities are bought and sold. Market is a place where commodities bought and sold. Where commodities brought and sold. Who will bring the commodities? One who is ready to, is the supplier, the producer, one who produces the goods and they are ready to offer those goods in the market for sale. They will bring. They bring those commodities and they sell in the market. For example, if you go any of your markets, okay, in a vegetable market, a labor market, in any market if you go, you may see number of sellers and buyers. Many sellers of one commodity. In a vegetable market if you go, you may see that number of sellers are sitting side by side and selling their tomatoes, potatoes, onions, etc. So this place you may see there are many people comes and they are coming, okay, they bargaining on a particular price exists in the market, many sellers, many buyers, very rush you will see. These days you may not see because due to the diseases. But in other than that, the normal condition you may see still many people go and come. They may bargain here and there. Many sellers may ready to reduce the price of the commodity and they sell. So that place, that physical existence, that place is known as a market. So in short we can say, what is a market? Market is a place where commodities bought and sold. Other features if you observe, how could we say? Can we say this particular classroom, in our classroom sometimes we may see that some teachers may say, you are not in a market, don't shout. So can we consider that as a market? Market is a place where commodities brought and sold. Or market is a place where we see a particular existence price. Or market is a place where so many sellers and buyers are there. Okay, so many bargaining attitudes are there. So many activities take place, exchange, consumptions, on this and that. So such area we may call it as a market. A physical place, many products, many buyers, many sellers, right? Many types of markets are there. Therefore, in economics, how could we define the term market is, it's a system. Market is a system or it is a setup. But market is defined in economics is a setup or a system in which the buyers and sellers of a commodity are able to sell, are able to interact each other. They are able to interact each other, they are able to communicate with each other and strike a deal about the prices and the quality to be bought and sold. The market is a place where you see that the price, sellers and buyers and commodities. So such a way economically we could define the term market. Clear? Right. Then there are many distinguishes. Two types of markets commonly we will see. One's goods markets and factor markets. Many types of markets are there, but generally when we see that goods markets and factor markets. Goods market and factor market. Goods markets is the place where goods and services are bought and sold. Factor markets are the places where factor services are brought and sold. Factors of production, factor service and labor capital and entrepreneurs. Okay. Then we move to the another term, money. Money. What is mean by money? What is money? What is money? You know that goods and services as well as the factor services are sold and purchased in the modern economies with the use of money. In our present economy, we may sell some of the commodities, we may purchase the commodities, we may take some economic activities with the help of money. What is money? That's the question. What is money? Can money be anything? Can money be anything? Money can be anything, no problem. Money can be anything. Just recollect before the invention of money. What was the system that we followed by that time? Before the invention of money? Barter system. Then what is barter system? Barter system, that is also a system in which exchanges of goods and services take place instead of commodities. In return of, instead of using money, people use their own goods and services in order to get the another goods. I am a producer of wheat. I need to get a rice. So I carry my wheat into the market and exchange with the rice producer. So I need to find out the person who is in need of wheat by exchanging their rice. So I found and we exchange the goods. It is known as barter system. So in the barter system, we may face some of the difficulties too. Certain situations I am unable to find out the people who wants to exchange with me. And there is also a problem of divisibility. Okay, there with so many difficulty can come there. So later on, man has found or invented the money. Then what is money? So we are now using money instead of, we are in a modern economy, okay, completely not based upon barter system, but we are in money using economy. We are using money, not barter system. Barter economic system is not there at present, but we are in a money using economy. Most of the transactions in these economies are used or are carried out with the help of money. So there can be a definition, a famous definition in relation with money, according to Crowther. Okay, according to Crowther. According to Crowther, money can be defined. Okay, let me say that. Money as anything. Money as anything that is generally acceptable. Money is anything that is generally acceptable. For what? As a means of exchange. Money as anything and must be acceptable as a means of exchange and at the same time act as a measure and store of value. This is what is known as money. Money can be anything, but there is one condition. What is the condition? That must be accepted by everyone in the economic transaction. Money can be anything. You can use a chalk piece as money if this is accepted as money by everyone, all of us, all over the world. For example, I could say that dollar. Can we use dollar in India? Can we take dollar to purchase one commodity? If you give $1 or $10 to the poor person or the vendor, will they accept it? They will not accept, because they will say, what is this? This is not money. This is not money. This is not India's money. Somebody's money. So we have a currency. India has currency. Money is generally and widely used. So everybody knows what is valued, what is our currency. Okay? So it is widely used as medium of exchange. So if we hand over or if we utilize the foreign money, foreign currencies, it doesn't work in India. The same way, Indian currency may not work in outside of our country. We cannot take Indian currency 2000 rupees or 1000 rupees or 500 rupees notes to the America. If you give there, they will kick you out because that is not money. They will say you are a cheater, right? So in such a way, money can be anything, but that must be generally accepted. So euros, all the European countries, they may use euro. Dollars, many, okay, we all consider dollar, we all know, everybody knows that dollar has value and that functions only in those countries where it accepts but not in India. Then in India also we have money exchange banks where we can exchange these dollars and we can convert into Indian currencies. When we go to the Nepal also you can say very nearby our state, and we used to visit Nepal. And Nepal is okay. Nepal currencies and Indian currencies earlier we were using, and nowadays in the nearby borders it is okay, but the interior regions Indian currencies they may not accept it. Similarly, the value of these currencies are different in each country. Okay, so that is in the case of money. So Crowther is defined it as anything that can be generally accepted as the means of exchange, medium of exchange. This is called money. At present, money consists of currency and coins. In India's case, we can say money consists of currency and coins. Currency and coins. What type of currencies you can see? How many types? What are the types of? What are the denominations of currencies? What is the denominations? You may have seen when you fill a receipt, a credit form in the bank or debit. You may see their denominations. 100 into dash. 1000 into dash, 2000 into dash. Different denominations of currencies. We can say, but is all types of, okay, like 2 rupees, 1 rupees, 10 rupees, 5 rupees, right? 50 rupees, 100 rupees, 500 rupees. All these are called the denominations of currency. So, money consists in our money using economy in our India. Money consists of currency and deposit money. Currency and coins we know that, okay, nowadays the coins that we used in our day-to-day life, 50 paisa onwards. So far 50 paisa is not banned by RBI, Reserve Bank of India, but people may not use the 50 paisa because they are rich in it. Why should I use the 50 paisa? We simply throw the 50 paisa. But you know that the 50 paisa is not banned. It is, you must, the shop owner, the shopman must take that money because we cannot deny the money. But 24 paisa is you cannot use. Okay, so 50 paisa, 1 rupees coin, 5 rupees coin, 2 rupees coin and 10 rupees coin. So many types of coins in use. Another we may use deposit money. Deposit money. Deposit money. What is meant by deposit money? Deposit money, or which is also known as bank money. Bank. You know bank? Yes. Bank money. Bank money. Deposit money or bank money refers to the deposit held with the banks. On the basis of checks can be drawn. So I have some money and I deposited in the bank. There is one condition. I can easily withdraw that money whenever I am in need. So this is the condition. Bank is ready. Bank will accept all our conditions. Therefore, we deposit all the extra money, whatever I have, I deposit in the bank with one condition. What's one condition? Next day, next moment, I could easily withdraw the money using checks or a debit card or credit card. I can withdraw it. So this money, so currency and coins, one type, then bank deposit or deposit money or bank money. These are the two types. And what type of economy that we have? we have money using economies, not a barter system. Clear? Then we go to the next as income. Income. What is mean by income? What is an income? Okay, what is your income? If somebody asks, what is your income? Okay, whatever you receive after giving your services, that can be considered your income. Okay, it can be easily defined as a flow of goods and services or flow of money accruing to an individual. Money received by an individual or all the people in an economy after giving their services. So that is called the income. So my annual income or my monthly income, my daily income, we may speak so. Whatever, okay, I am some percentage of involved in my economic activity and I am getting some money, those money can be considered as my income. My daily income is 100 rupees or my monthly income is 1 lakh rupees or in such a way, and my yearly income. So whatever the retains in the different forms, you will be getting your income retained in various forms, and as a whole you may say that is whatever way that you accrues the money is that your income. Clear? Then we go to the next is per capita income. Per capita income. What is meant by per capita income? So per capita income, in that cases we may know that national income, personal disposable income, per capita income. There are many types. We will study in detail. Per capita income is we can find out the per capita income. How could we obtain the per capita income? Per capita income, that is symbolically we can express per capita income is equal to national income by population, which is equal to national income. National income divided by population. This is known as our per capita income. For example, population around 130 crore people we have, and if suppose our national income is equal to, we may say that okay, 936,100 crore divided by whatever the population, okay, 130 will be equal to our national income. Clear? This is national income. Such a way we can obtain. So symbolically, per capita income is equal to our national income upon population. Clear? Understand? Yes, per head income. You can say per head income. See this, actually if we calculate the national income, we may see now the present per capita income is rupees 1 lakh. 1 lakh is the present per capita income, per head income. But let me ask, are you getting this 1 lakh in a year? No. Which means the income is distributed not equally among us. Okay, income distribution is unequal in way. Okay, income is not distributed equally because income distribution based on the work that you may do. What is according to your job? Your job selection is based on your qualification, based on your interest, based on your study. And as a matter, you may get different types of income. So income is not being distributed equally among the people. Majority of our income lies in the hands of a few people, some rich people, millionaire people. They may control the markets, okay, the share markets are all. So such a way income distribution is not in a equal way, right? Then what is next? We will see that saving. Saving. What is saving? What is saving? Saving, what is saving? What can I save? I must save. If I save 100 rupees, means what does it mean? Or when will I save money? If I have much more money. Everyone has lot of money with you, then more than that what you are in need of a daily expenditure, then the additional money you may do, what you will do, you may save in the bank. That is called saving. So in a simple sentence, what we can say? Saving refers to that part of income which is not used for consumption. That part of income. Suppose I have a 1000 rupees, and this 1000 rupees I may need only 500 rupees to spend. So what is left? This 500 rupees is left, which I do not use. A part of income that not spent on consumption. And that particular part, this 500 rupees is my saving. Clear? So what is saving? Saving refers to that part of income which is not spent on consumption. Clear? Yes. Saving done by whom? By whom the saving? Yeah, it is done by the households. It is done by us, which is known as personal saving. My own saving. What saving that I have done is my saving. Similarly, you can say business saving. Business people can save. Saving done by the business people. Okay, so that is called business saving. Similarly, government saving also there. What is government saving? Saving done by the government. Which government? Central government, state government, or other local bodies. Clear? So this type of saving, you can see number of savings. And we will move to the next. Okay, noted? Okay, then let me rub this. So we will move to the next, that is investment. Investment. What is mean by investment? What is mean by investment? When will we do invest something, or what purpose we invest something? We invest generally some money for starting a business. Okay, or we invest some things for expansion of the business. So what is this investment? Investment is defined as the act of using productive resources in the process of capital goods. Okay, production resources for the production of the capital resources. Whatever we invest, the investment can be either in capital or in terms of money. Sometimes we may purchase those factors of production for widening our industry, or sometimes we may invest some capital in terms of money to start a business. So those part is known as your investment. Generally, an investment takes place for taking the initial steps to start any plant or any industry. Okay, so this is known as investment. Next thing we will see wealth. Wealth. What is mean by wealth? What is wealth? Do you have wealth? Yes. Wealth refers to the stock of all those and which are the source of income. Wealth refers to the stock, all those assets which are the real source of income. If I say this is my wealth, or economic textbook is my wealth, I must make sure that helps me to that understand me to that is a source of my income. You can say anything as your wealth, but that must follow certain characteristics. If you say that you have wealth, you must make sure that if that particular commodity or that particular asset, if that follows 4 types of features, then you can say that is your wealth. Then what are those 4 types of characteristics features. These are the first one, utility. Utility or util. The second one, util. What is util? The commodity must have utility. Utility we have studied. One satisfying power of the commodity. So that commodity must have that power to satisfy your want. It must possess utility. The another one is scarcity. Scarcity. It must be scarce in nature. It must be limited in quantity. Demanded of that commodity is much more. But what is actually produced is less than that. It must be limited in nature. It must be scarce in its supply. Then we can say transferability. Transferability. What is transferability? It should be transferable. That means its ownership can be transferred from one person to another person. I am the owner of this particular item, and this ownership of this item is being transferred from myself to the another person. So that facility, that feature, it must follow. And the last one is exchange value. Exchange value. What is exchange value? You have studied value in exchange and value in use. It must possess the exchange value. So when a particular commodity can be said as your asset, only then it must follow these four things. What are those? It must have utility, it must have scarcity, it must be transferability, and it also possesses exchange value. Then only you can say that is the wealth. So everything you cannot say. Okay, a simple bottle or a simple chalk piece cannot be said as a wealth, because it may have utility, right? But it is scarcity, that also correct. Transferability, the ownership can be transferred, but there is no exchange value. There is no value. You give the chalk piece and you won't get any kilos of rice or any other cocoa or Pepsi. No exchange value, because it's good for nothing, only for the price. So these three things are followed. What I have told you that wealth refers to the stock of all these things, all such assets, once if it follows these four characteristics features. So this is you may keep in mind. Okay, so we may speak of individual wealth as well as national wealth and personal wealth. Individual wealth or personal wealth. National wealth. National wealth also owned by the nations. Personal wealth owned by me. So there are different types of tangible and intangible goods, okay, owned by the nation and persons. Okay, so this is the part of wealth. And another point we will see, welfare. What is welfare? What is welfare? Welfare is taken means of sense of satisfaction. Sense of satisfaction and happiness. Well-being of the people. Sense of satisfaction and happiness, a sense of well-being among the people. Sense of well-being among the people. I am well-being. I have been provided with various commodities, and therefore my welfare is okay, fine. Well-being. My standard of living is good. My present situation is good. Government gives a lot of necessities and other commodities, whatever required for me. Okay, my sense of satisfaction and my happiness rest in those commodities. Therefore, I can easily say that is your welfare, right? Okay, so by this time we will wind up the class today. and we may continue with the same chapter. Okay, as I have told you, this chapter explains a few concepts, a few economic terms, those terms which we use the coming days explanation, and we common terms we must understand what does it mean. Therefore, this chapter you have to read many times and make sure you have understood some points. Okay, then bye.